Team ABYDOS, not to be confused with Team NV, even though all the players have Team NV jerseys, because that is totally not confusing at all. But you can see our lineups, mate. It's gonna be a banger. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, the DPG jerseys versus the.
True.
Oh boy.
They're actually fighting for some new jerseys right now. They're outdated. They're wearing clothes from a year ago, and they need to update their jerseys. They need to update their sponsors, and this is going to be a close one. The predictions were, of course, locked in. If you want to predict, if you want to be a part of the prediction game, !Discord in the chat. Everyone did put in their results, and this is going to be a really close one here. I don't know if you want to get into what you picked, but even this first matchup, Jieshi versus Nightmare, Jieshi, he's been popping off in the PvPs.
I'm hoping that I picked Nightmare 2-0, but I don't think I thought very hard about my picks, so I could have done anything, honestly.
Fair enough, mate. Fair
yes,
enough.
I went Nightmare 2-0.
There you go. I went for the Jieshi 1-1, and the reason behind that is because in some of these weekly tournaments he's been performing quite well. But here we go. Here he is in the top left-hand corner, the Chinese Protoss, Jieshi.
And the bottom right-hand corner for ABYDOS, it is Nightmare. How do you know Jieshi's in the top left-hand corner? Did someone send you some mail?
You faxed me the minimap, Path. Do you not remember? Do you?
Did a bird come with the map tied to its leg?
Oh, the carrier pigeon arrived. It smashed into the window. It's getting eaten by the spider as we speak.
The spider, yeah. I was going to say that. Mate, you shouldn't have killed the spider. That would have been your entertainment.
True. What?
You could have hung out with the spider.
Oh, yeah. Could have.
It was your roommate. You killed your roommate.
We could have read the book together. We could have read Everything is Fucked Together, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is fucked, and then you step on him. And he understands.
He understood the meaning of the book by the end. That's what's important.
Okay, but Nightmare actually throwing down a very fast Nexus, getting an 18 Nexus. Not really something I've seen too much before in PvP. Jieshi going to be responding in kind, getting his Nexus very quickly as well. So we're going to have a one-gate expand from both players, but no blocking shenanigans. Apart from this, we're going to be blocking the gas.
Yeah, the gas is going to be delayed here a little bit. You love to see the gas steals here from Nightmare, and this is why this is going to be, at least in my mind, a bit of a closer one. I know that there has been a lot of hype around Nightmare, so he's looking to maybe take a little bit of a lead here in the series. And I think that's pretty important for ABYDOS, just because they're a bit of a newer team, and CranKy Gaming, technically a quote-unquote new team, but they are like the 4-time champions. Like, they're some heavy hitters, mate.
Oh, he should queue up mining between his gas and the mineral.
Oh, true.
Take his minerals and his gas.
Yeah.
Actually, I wonder if it would be good.
Probably. We don't see that often enough. We don't see gas stealing often enough, to be fair. Smooch.
Yeah, I would say gas stealing in general, it's a little bit, it kind of telegraphs what you're going to do. It makes it fairly obvious that you're going to be going for some kind of rush, which Nightmare is. He's going for a fast second gate.
Yeah, the gate is already on the way here. Nothing too crazy when it comes to the openers, just slight differentiations here between our two players. We can see that Jieshi's own second gate isn't too far behind, but Nightmare, he throws down that Twilight Council, so now we are aware of at least his tech of choice. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like Jieshi reading this pretty well, throwing down the robo quite quickly. I think that definitely makes a lot of sense, especially when a bit of aggression's been shown, and the gas steal as well, kind of indicating that there might be something aggressive coming. So I think robo definitely a safe choice here. Yeah, and he will be getting a few extra gateways as well. Okay.
I think this kind of leads into what you were saying, right? It's about how, like, when you go for a gas steal like this, I think you're kind of telegraphing to your opponent, hey, I want to be aggressive. And if Jieshi does start that Immortal up, then that is going to show that he's going to be well prepared for anything coming his way. But with those additional gateways, it's possible that he could be looking to be aggressive himself. He could go for a faster Prism instead.
It
Up.
could be, as we do see the Adept Shade going to be blocking the Adept of Jieshi. So cute moves there coming out from Nightmare. And yeah, there we go. It's going to be a Prism actually coming out from Jieshi. So Jieshi maybe looking for some aggression of his own to try to hit before Nightmare's Blink finishes up and before his Gateways kick in.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to hit a little bit faster, a little bit harder. He's going to have Pseudo Blink to work with. Meanwhile, a very crucial scout from Nightmare. He comes in with the hallucination. He confirms the gateway count. He even sees the Robo as well. Doesn't see what's coming out, but the gateway count should be a tell.
Yeah, he sees a few different little things, but Jieshi behind this is going to be throwing down a Twilight and a Forge, so it looks like this is just going to be for harass, but this is a really nice harassing force. I mean, 4 Adepts can chunk through these probes very quickly, especially if there's no shield battery, and there isn't a shield battery in either mineral line.
Exactly. There's a bit of a hole in that wall as well in the natural. So here we go. Jeshi's going for that multi-prong attack. We have 4 Adepts into the main base. We have 2 trying to get into the natural as well. There are Stalkers in position, and they're trying to focus down that Prism.
Yeah, the Prism going to be going down, so Jieshi going to need to use some good target fire with these Adepts. It looks like able to focus down 6, getting quite a lot of probes down at the natural here. Ooh, even more probes going down, getting a ton of damage here. Nightmare's going to have to respond to this in kind with a counterattack.
Yeah, this is going to kind of force him all in a way. This is going to be zooming across the map. But I don't know if you saw that on the production tab. Jieshi, there we go. Immortals are in production right now. He knows that a counterattack is imminent. He knows that his opponent has Blink as well. Can Jieshi survive?
Yeah, I really like the Immortals and the extra gates, but behind this Nightmare, kind of having the best of both worlds. Going to be throwing down a 3rd as well, so the Blink comes into the main now. Oh, okay, no, it doesn't go to the main. It's going to take out these Adepts first, so quick moves by Nightmare to catch those out.
Yeah. I wonder if that was worth it for Jieshi, because now he knows about the Stalker Force. There we go. He's given time to reposition. He has some more pylons on the way. We do have a couple of them shading in towards the natural. The Immortals are waiting in the main.
Yeah, so a few of those Stalkers going to be going down before the Blink cooldown comes off. Nightmare not really wanting to fight that, especially with the Sentry there with the shield. Probably wouldn't have been the best idea to try to take the Immortals head on, so he is going to be backing off, but he does have a 3rd base coming up now. His 3rd base finishing, and Jieshi just continuing to go for this Blink, go for the +1, getting another Prism as well, so might be going for some aggression of his own as he tries to make some space for his own 3rd to come up.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Nightmare, he counterattacked, he didn't really deal too much damage. He has a 3rd base behind it, but now Jieshi, he's about to catch up with Blink in 8 seconds. He has +1 on the way, and he has that Immortal advantage as well. So Jieshi is going to have a higher quality army, and Nightmare, it's going to be his turn to be the defender to try to hold on to his 3rd.
Yeah, I do feel like if Nightmare can prevent too much damage from going down here, he should be in a really good spot, just because he's had this 3rd up and mining for quite a while now. But it's a decent if there. He has to be very careful, especially with the 2 Immortals coming up the ramp, and the Prism's going to offer a lot of juggle potential.
Yeah, exactly. We have that Blink, we have that Prism as well. The Force Field is going to be able to buy some time. It looks like Nightmare has the higher Stalker count. He has a shield battery, he has Overcharge. The boys are being pulled.
Yeah, boys are being pulled. The Prism's going to be going down, and we do have those shields being popped on the Immortals as well, so both Immortals going to be going down. Looks like he should have just enough to hold with the shield battery, especially if he can get an Overcharge going. But it's a pretty tight hold, and 9 probes going to be going down once again, taking some pretty serious probe damage. And behind this, Jieshi's been able to get his own Nexus up and running.
Yeah, honestly, Nightmare barely held on. You can see how weakened a lot of his units are. And if it wasn't for that snipe on the Prism, I do think that if Jieshi had decent enough control to save those Immortals, he would have been able to break on through. Now we have this massive counterattack. The shield batteries aren't ready for Jieshi.
Yeah, they're not quite ready, but the numbers are definitely on his side. He's going to be pushing Nightmare back. Nightmare just in an awful position here. Really going to be struggling to get back into this one.
Yeah, he's down over 10 workers right now. He is down in the upgrades. +2 is on the horizon for Jieshi as well. He has been so on point with his upgrades. Nightmare's trying to repro, but Jieshi is chasing his opponent down, hunting down whatever stalkers he can. Nightmare actually, thinking about going for a counterattack.
Yeah, Nightmare is trying to stay out on the map, keep Jieshi back at home, buy himself enough time and space to get his own base up here, and just trying to have a bit of aggression himself. But behind this, going to be going into the Twilight Archives. We just see Charge coming up for Jieshi, going to be pretty far behind that of Nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. It only barely just started. Meanwhile, Nightmare is working on his own Templar archives for those Archons. Before that happens, Jieshi is going to be poking across the map, just looking for a way in. Even though Nightmare is down in upgrades, I do think that Archons can sway things in his favor, and he can make up for that upgrade deficit.
Yeah, there we go. Nightmare going to be blinking these Stalkers into the main. Pretty quick warp in coming out from Jieshi, so he will be preventing most of the damage, just keeping him busy with these Zealots. But Charge still a little ways off. Looks like he wasn't quite aware that Charge still had a bit to go. And while he does force some micro out of Nightmare, he's a fast player. He should be okay.
Yeah, exactly. He only loses 2 Stalkers there, forced a reaction, forced Jieshi to stay at home, and that bought enough time for Nightmare to now have the Templar Archives. Archons are on the way. The first Forge is on the horizon for Nightmare. He's down 2 upgrades, bear that in mind. But those charge lots aren't going to be as useful as they otherwise could have been because of the Archons. The Archon positioning from Nightmare is going to be very important.
Yeah, Charge the Archon, pretty formidable force in any matchup, including this one. The Zealots getting on top of the Stalker should be able to do some pretty good damage, and Jieshi's army just lacking a bit of complexity right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a couple of Zealots sprinkled in. We do see Nightmare setting up a surround those, and Zealots are going right from behind.
Yeah, Zealots can be charging on in. We do have a warp in coming out from Jieshi, so that will keep these Zealots busy, and looks like the Archons are starting to be focused down. There's a lot of Stalkers here. They definitely can start to DPS through the battery. Maybe not on the Archons, but definitely on the other Stalkers.
Exactly. The overcharge is going to be able to buy Nightmare a little bit more time. We just keep warping in wave after wave of Stalkers. +2 is now done for Jieshi. And without an overcharge, he's going to be looking to try and snipe some of these Archons. We'll see if he can. There's still a lot of charges to work with. And we also have an Immortal coming out.
I thought that was a Widow Mine at the 4th there for a moment, but looks like there was something or other going down. But behind this, Jieshi just continuing to skirmish back and forth, putting a lot of pressure on Nightmare. Nightmare can't commit too hard because these Archons, they can be probably volleyed down by these Stalkers, even under the shield battery. And here we go, the shield batteries are starting to be under threat. The Nexus starting to take hull damage as well, so Nightmare gonna have to commit to this fight sooner or later.
Yeah, Nightmare is on a timer right now because he's taking more and more damage. There we go, a second overcharge is being popped to keep his units alive. He can now push on forward, but Jieshi is so careful with his engagements. He is so very careful with how he wants to commit here, if ever at all, into a fight, waiting for that overcharge to run out.
Man, it's the micro. You look in one pocket, shield battery overcharge, in the other hand, behind the back, more shield battery overcharge.
Wait, that's PvP, Poppy. That's how you do it. And you know what? It's kind of working here. Nightmare, he's holding on for a very long time. He's working up that Immortal count, that Archon count as well. +1 is on the horizon. But Jieshi has been slowly warping in some of these Zealots. He's getting ready for one big attack.
Yeah, he got some Zealots. He got some Zealots, but looks like Nightmare going to be splitting off a Zealot attack of his own. There's a Prism going into the main, and if that starts warping in the main of Nightmare could be in a lot of trouble here. It's already a really tough hold at the front.
It really is. We'll see how the kind of chaotic management here from our players are going to be here as Zealots are making their way across the map in the natural and third base of Jieshi.
Okay, recall going to be coming out from Jieshi, so trying to get back home to defend these Zealots. Fortunately, there is that shield battery overcharge, and now they're going to be going for a recall of his own, trying to defend his main from the Zealots that were warped in. Both players taking a pretty decent amount of damage, but all in all, it feels like Nightmare may be coming out of this with a more complex army.
Yeah, that Immortal count has gotten pretty high. I think he's got 3 or 4 Immortals at this point, which is pretty impressive. He's about to have +1 as well, +3 still on the way for Jieshi. But Jieshi is kind of winning him out in the tech race with those Disruptors. The first 2 Disruptors, they're on the way.
Yeah, first 2 Disruptors going to be on the way for Jieshi, so that's always a great equalizer. Even if we do have these Immortals, we have these Archons here ready to go. And +1 getting denied right before finishing. That is brutal because +3 is on the way for Jieshi. And I mean, you can skip upgrades. It's sometimes okay, but once you start getting into that kind of differential, you're really going to see the units suffer.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where there's it's so unbelievable to see a world where Nightmare can maybe win a fight despite being down 0-3 upgrades. But +3 hasn't kicked in yet. He does have a very large Zealot army as well. He's looking for a fight, but the Disruptors are now out for Jieshi. Up.
Yeah, the disruptor is real scary. Gonna be showing a few of the zealots there, but you have a second disruptor coming in as well, and I don't think there's really any answer for this for Nightmare right now, so he is gonna get pushed back into his base.
Yeah, he really is. The arms race has been won by Jieshi when it comes to the quality of the army. You know, you may have Archons, you may have Immortals, but checkmate, I have Disruptors. As long as they connect, the things can work out well. But once again, that Prism is exposed.
Yeah, Prism going to be exposed. Jieshi actually fighting a pretty creative angle here. Going to be attacking in towards his own base, which is kind of weird with the shield battery. Not really ideal, as we actually see Jieshi kind of cordoning off the Stalkers with his own Stalkers, and that means there's going to be no healing going down. So this was a pretty tremendous fight for Jieshi, and he takes a massive supply lead.
Yeah, the Novas were good enough. As you were saying, Nightmare was zoned out of his own overcharge. The Novas connect once again, and there's almost nothing left for Nightmare.
GG. Okay, Jieshi going to be taking game 1. Let's go.
Oh, for you. GG, well played. Really solid play coming out from Jieshi. Really good kind of game awareness as well in the early game to be able to get these leads early on that really did kind of snowball over time. You know, his more defensive play, knowing when to counterattack, the Adeptras as well. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, some pretty solid looking laminate flooring in the background as well.
Oh,
nice and shiny. I like it.
There you go, mate. There you go. You know, he's also been without internet for a while, so he started just buffering the floors, you know, just cleaning everything up. Yeah, I can relate.
Hey, your floor is shiny.
Oh, my grass is shiny, mate. That's so much time I've had to myself. Aye.
Did you have you had a proper burial for the spider? Have you cleaned it up? Is it still just squished on the ground behind you?
I did pick it up the next day. It's not there anymore. It's gone. Man, I took like a squeegee and I cleaned the windows on the outside of the house. Like I just didn't. Yeah.
Why?
Because I have nothing else to do. Cleaning everything.
I would simply go back to sleep.
You're like, mate, I would just have some 20-hour naps, mate. Just
pretty much. Like, I mean, you got the internet on your phone, so you just have your phone open, got some streams going, and you just lie in the dark, and you're just half awake, half asleep for 48 hours.
Asher.
What's up?
You're like, is that not normal?
I'm like, now that I talk about that, I kind of want to spend my weekend like that. Sounds pretty good.
That sounds good if I had internet on my phone. Smooch.
Yeah, okay.
Smooch. It's all gone, Papi. It was gone like day one. I used up all the data.
Well, if I don't pick up tomorrow, you know what's happening.
You're in bed.
I'm in bed, mate. I'm asleep. Don't call me. You got the wrong number.
You got the wrong number. Oh, not like this. You know, sometimes it's good to be a degen, you know? Sometimes your body needs it, you know? We like it, Papi. We like it.
Speaking of things we like, one of those is the Chinese Protoss in the top right-hand corner for DKZ. It is Jieshi.
Oh, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner for ABYDOS. It is Nightmare.
The pity Dream doesn't play anymore. We need Dream versus Nightmare to happen again.
Smooch. Yeah, we've had that before, and has there been any official word from Dream?
Be a pretty close game these days. No.
No.
Why is this like this?
We're gonna have to
Lunara
switch
the clean feed.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. For those wondering, the YouTube feed just went down, so we're gonna have to switch over to Twitch instead.
Yeah, they had Lai was watching it, and they're like, "We can't have that."
Taking it away from us, Papi. Taking it
no
away.
Internet, no stream, nothing.
It's all good. It's all good. We're just hopping on over. Okay, I'll give you the link, Papi. Yeah. That's hold on.
What am I holding on to?
I just realized. Is Jieshi like covering something up? Is there like a shrine behind him that he's ashamed of? Is there like a waifu shrine going on?
I think it's his celebration if he wins, and he's gonna uncover it.
Oh,
It's gonna
he's
be
gonna whip
a
it out.
it's gonna be a chair, a TGIF chair
Oh, it's gonna be a ticket to Rio.
under that.
Yeah, yeah.
What if it's just you? You're just like
It's me.
huddled in there and you're casting.
I'm using his internet right now.
Yeah. But he doesn't want to get in trouble for cheating if he hears you, so he puts you under the blanket.
The reason why I'm there is I was the one that waxed his floor bullets, mate.
Oh. He was like, "Can I pay you?" And you were like, "No, I'm so bored. I wouldn't know what to do with the money."
Let me work, Papi. Let me work. Oh, smooch. As we're getting into this game, and we have some pretty interesting openers. Unless I missed something, I believe both players are going for Robo firsts, or Robo for their take of choice.
Yeah. Looks like it. They're crazy.
Crazy, Papi. And with that, I believe we also had an earlier expansion from Nightmare as well, so he's going to have a bit of an earlier economic advantage, but we'll see if Jieshi is going to, again, flip things on their head a little bit. 2 games in a row, and there it is. The Prism is on the way, so Jieshi may be looking to go for the same move with the Adepts harassing those mineral lines.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like Nightmare might have delayed his second gate a little bit, possibly. But yeah, Jieshi going to be going very hard on those Adepts once again. We even have a probe being sent out. I don't know if that was intended to set up a proxy pylon.
Yeah, it is possible here. No pylons yet from what we can tell, but the Adepts are looking to try and shade in towards that natural base. Nightmare starting Immortal production very early on, actually, instead. So yeah, a little bit paranoid potentially of some of that aggression.
Yeah, 2 more gates going down too, so he's looking like he might be trying to put himself in a bit more of an all-in position. And if Jieshi can scout that out with this Prism coming around towards the main, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he needs to get eyes on these gateways. We do see the Prism slipping in behind the mineral line. He's going to be harassing the workers at least, but we need eyes on the production, and we're going to be seeing some of those gateways on the way.
Yeah, nice wall off from Nightmare. Looks like he might not actually be intending on cancelling that gateway. Might just be looking to fully wall that main off and then just go for an all-in.
Yeah, it's definitely possible here. We keep an eye out for a Prism on the way from Nightmare for that tell. Until then, though, we do see Jieshi taking a bit of a worker lead overall. He's looking to dip back in, looking to try and get another probe kill. Oh!
Yeah, certainly getting close, but that Prism's getting pretty low as well, so he needs to be careful with how he does this. He doesn't really have time to rebuild that Prism just because we have 4-gate aggression coming out from Nightmare, so he needs to be making Immortals as much as he can here.
Yeah, exactly. And we already have 2 Immortals out for Jieshi, so he's getting ready to receive any kind of aggression. Meanwhile, the Adepts, they come back into the natural base. Another probe is going to go down. And these aren't really these big, terrifying numbers, but slowly they're adding up here. And they're just giving Jieshi that bit of a lead time and time again.
Yeah, they are adding up, and they're really annoying just to deal with as well here for Jieshi, but for Nightmare, sorry. So Nightmare going to be dipping a little bit in the supply, but he still has a rather fearsome attack coming. We see as well, actually, he's going to be going for a Twilight, so kind of looks like he's doing something similar to what Jishi's doing. He's just behind, really. But it's going to be Jieshi that's attacking.
I'm a little bit concerned about this attack. I don't think it's necessary. It's like, he's got a bit of a lead. He has a faster blink on the way. He has a faster forge on the way as well. He's risking a lot by moving out like this, and he does have an equal immortal count, to be fair, but he's going to be going up against an overcharge. Oh.
Yeah, this attack doesn't make a lot of sense. It kind of feels like this is the only way that Nightmare would get to use the army that he's committed extra to.
Yeah, I agree as well. We did see the players trade a little bit. We can see Jieshi lost a little bit more. Or sorry, I believe he killed a stalker and lost a sentry of his own. So I guess a good trade for Jieshi, but he is forced all the way back. And now Nightmare could be the aggressor here. He's got his own prism. And he's going for a drop, which does get spotted by the observer.
Yeah, Observer spots it out. Nightmare as well going to be spotting out the prism of his opponent. Looks like that should be going down, so nice catch there. As we do see Nightmare, he sent out a bit of an Adept Scout earlier. Saw that there was no third for Jieshi, so I'm interested to see what kind of harass he wants to go for. I think might be a good idea to, yeah, and there we go. We do see him getting up a third of his own and trying to get ahead that way.
Yeah, he's going for the Immortal drop into the main base, and there was an Observer over the army of Jieshi, so Nightmare was able to avoid any kind of marauding Stalkers out on the map. He's going to be able to get some damage done. Ooh, even delays Blink! Oh my god!
Yeah, perfect timing. Delays Blink. Going to be depowering, it looks like 4 gateways as well, so pretty huge value coming out from these Immortals.
Yeah, exactly. A great way to come back in this game. We do see Nightmare now with a bit of a faster blink instead. He's working on his production as well. Still no Forge. Very reminiscent of what we saw last game. And as we kind of mentioned, upgrades aren't the biggest of deals, but they can, impact the game in their own way.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes a big deal when we see something like last game where +1 gets skimmed and we got +3 coming up against +1.
Yeah, the +3 against the 0-0 of Nightmare. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of that as he's moving out across the map already. His Prism has rejoined forces with the rest of the army. We have a decent amount of Immortals as well. Do we have any shield batteries ready for this? It looks like we're about to have one for Jieshi. Is that going to be enough though?
Yeah, it's hard to say. We do have a little bit of a forward blink coming out from Nightmare, trying to focus down some of these Immortals, but the defense is good for Jieshi, using the high ground very well, buying himself enough time to get this shield battery up, and that's got plenty of energy now on it. Even feeling confident enough is Jieshi to send some units across the map, but some great force fields, and with the units going across the map, there's going to be no Prism to save the Immortals.
Yeah, Jieshi punished for sending his Prism across the map. He wasn't able to save the Immortals, and that is a massive loss for Jieshi. And Nightmare, I love that he's just backing off. He's going to be taking his win here. He traded better, and he's going to be just capitalizing on that instead. Not going to be throwing away his advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like tanks in TVT where you've got these big power units in the Immortals, and if you do have a lead in that regard, you can sometimes just back off and come back later with the army. It's still going to have the same value to it.
Exactly. It's a lead that can kind of snowball over time as Nightmare is continuing his Immortal production. He's working on his 4th Immortal right now as we speak. And Jieshi is on the back foot. He hasn't been able to be aggressive. He hasn't been able to get a big economic lead like he did last time. He's got those upgrades, sure, but for the time being, he's stuck at home.
Yeah, he is, and he's looking for something. I mean, he's sending this Prism around. He would really like to find an opening somewhere, somehow. But Nightmare doing a really good job just poking back and forth, showing himself under these observers, just keeping Jieshi busy with these defensive rotations.
Exactly, he's just keeping him back at home, but Jieshi wants to be aggressive. He's moving out with, I believe, 4 Adepts in that Prism, so he knows that he needs to come back in some way, shape, or form, and he's even rushing into Erotic's Bay as well, so he's going to be gambling a little bit, trying to get into those Disruptors.
Yeah, I definitely like this, just realizing that he's going to be playing the defender for the most part, and especially with Nightmare looking like he's willing to try to break going up these ramps. Some disruptor shots could be absolutely huge here.
They really could. Meanwhile, it was Zealots, not Adepts in that Prism, and they're going to be dropped into the main base. We have plenty at home to deal with this. The cannon goes down, but we have Stalkers. We're going to force a warp in. Nightmare actually turns around with his army, and this is pretty big for Jieshi. Jieshi needs to buy time. We can see the Bay is a couple of seconds away from finishing up, and then he has to chrono out those Disruptors. Without them, I do think that Nightmare has a better army.
Yeah, Nightmare's play here was pretty heavily relying on keeping Jieshi home, keeping the momentum up, and with Jieshi being given this time to breathe, this time where he doesn't have to warp in as many units, time for the +3 even to kick in, he's going to have some leads kicking in from some of the corners that he cut in the early game that Nightmare just wasn't able to punish.
Exactly. We have that faster 4th base on the way as well. The first Disruptor is coming out. We only have 1 robot for Jieshi, so he's only making 1 Disruptor at a time. It's important to bear that in mind, and because that, he's not going to have that many Disruptors to work with, so 1 isn't going to be the biggest of deals. But Nightmare is still not moving out, despite that big Immortal count. As time goes on, as we get more Disruptors, the Immortals, they don't matter as much.
Yeah, those Immortals, it's going to be very hard to pull them away from Novas. That's where the Prism comes in, but even the Prism can be sniped down by Stalkers, so a lot of it feels like he's going to come down to the army control here, and both players pretty good in that regard. Nightmare especially a very fast player, but Jieshi's shown already that he's got a lot of skill when it comes to the way that he picks and chooses his fights.
Definitely, definitely. And this patient play is really paying off because now we have a second robo on the way for Jieshi. You know, he's in a way getting further and further ahead as time goes on. We do have that Prism slipping into the main base, but no, the Prism does get sniped.
Yeah, great defense there. But as you were saying, it does feel like Jieshi is starting to widen the gap when it comes to the tech and really find himself with an advantage that it's going to be very hard for Nightmare to catch up with.
Really is. Nightmare looks like he's setting up a bit of a surround. The first Nova is just going to zone away the army. We have one more Disruptor with us, and here we go. The surround is coming in.
Yeah, the Hallucinated Colossus is cute, but it's not going to be enough to deter Jieshi, Nightmare, as Nightmare does jump on top of this entire army. Looks like he will get thrown for a bit of a loop with the run by with the blink up into the high ground. So it's going to be difficult for him to hold on here. We do have the shield battery overcharge being committed and big counterattack coming in.
I love that blink, by the way, onto the high ground. Very creative moves from Jieshi. We do have a couple of Disruptors on the way. Is it going to be enough to hold on to his third base? Because Nightmare is losing his own fourth across the map.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare here has to be very careful not to lose the Immortals. They are starting to be focused down, and they're the absolute backbone of this army. I mean, if we do get to a low supply situation, they're going to be very useful to have.
They really are. Meanwhile, two Disruptors have joined the army for Jieshi. It looks like he will hold on to his third base. Meanwhile, the shout out to the picture-in-picture, Nightmare also barely held on to his own fourth as well. So after all's said and done, after the dust does settle, it looks like Jieshi has defended. He still has that Disruptor advantage, and the first Novas, oh, they finally get a decent connection.
Oh, yeah, the Prism just a little bit too slow there. Or was it? Actually, I don't see any Immortals with no shields, so maybe he did get there in time.
He saved the Immortal. He didn't save the Stalkers. A couple of Stalkers did go down, but, you know, it's okay. We saved the Immortals at least as Nightmare is rotating around. He's looking for another way in. He is being spotted and confirmed by the army of Jieshi, but Jieshi has to be careful with these Purification Novas. He can't be too wasteful with them. He can't give Nightmare an opening to just pounce on his army.
Yeah, the Observer goes down, so Nightmare free to make lurkers now.
Oh. You mean DTs, Papi? Not gonna, yo, if we had Hero here, if we had Classic, we would be seeing DTs right now, not gonna lie. Regardless, we see a double Disruptor production on the way now for Nightmare as well, so we're getting into that ball-on-ball action. Oh,
who wins? Is there an upgrade difference? There is an upgrade difference. Okay, that's so boring. It's Zimba. It's like watching a ZBT. It's like you're just not that... I don't know, you're just not impressed by the Zerg winning because it's just they have better upgrades.
I thought you were gonna say that you're not impressed when the Terran wins because they just doesn't matter what the Zerg has. Oh.
No, I'm very impressed when the Terran wins against all odds. It's crazy.
Shaking my head. True. On the Terran patch. As Nightmare is just gonna be posturing outside the third base. Now he's got the balls on the front line. No, we had a forward blink! Oh. Was that good or bad? I don't know.
I think it was good. Nightmare didn't really defend his Disruptors there. He just kind of lost them. That was not great, but he does still hold a supply lead.
Yeah, that was a really interesting turn of events where the Jieshi, he like blinked prematurely. I don't even know if he saw the army even. I don't know what triggered that. But he left himself exposed. But at the same time, as you said, the main army of Nightmare wasn't able to protect his Disruptors. And I think Nightmare, his Disruptor count was just reset.
Just a bit excited. It's okay.
Yeah.
Happens sometimes, yeah.
It's not, you know, don't be ashamed to be a little bit premature sometimes, you know, like you can't help it, you know, it's flattering.
Yeah, some people, I was going to say, some people take it as a compliment, but there we go. We do see that forward blink coming on down. The last couple of Disruptors are going to be sent out from Jieshi, but Nightmare doing a good job keeping the count low. We see, yeah, 5 being sniped down, so very solid stuff.
You flattered, Asher.
Oh.
Oh. That's here we go. Jieshi's gonna be moving on forward. Oh, another Nova is gonna connect. A bit of a late blink there from Nightmare, or non-existent even.
He was only partially looking.
Oh. Only partially pop, yes. Once again, another Nova does connect as well. What's important, though, is that Nightmare, he may be losing a couple of Immortals, a couple of Stalkers. His Disruptor count is looking still quite very healthy overall, and that's, I guess, what it's going to come down to, as the Disruptors are kind of held back in the back line.
In my head just then, I was like, oh, Nightmare's sending for the Prism, so when Jieshi shoots the Disruptor shot, he can pick it up with the Prism and cancel it. Pick up his Disruptor.
That's that's some Stormgate ideas right there. You know, that's yeah. There you go. There you go. Something
all transport ships can steal units.
You can kidnap people in Stormgate, confirmed. As the armies are once again just bouncing or just trading with each other as best they can. Nightmare, he has split up a lot of his supply towards the left-hand side, but we can see he's almost maxed out. He just has the higher numbers here compared to his opponent. DTs are coming in, but they're not fighting too much damage.
Mate, DT's coming in for Jieshi, but Nightmare's going to have the Giga DTs, the Blink DTs on the way, which means he is just cooler in this situation. But we do see big Disruptor shots going to be going down towards the south here. Looks like Nightmare might have gotten the worst of that, but still up in supply overall.
Yeah, exactly. Nightmare, the numbers are just on his side. He has the stronger army overall. He's been losing a couple of gateway units here and there, but the core units have been kept alive over time. Blink is on the way, as you were saying, and Nightmare is setting up another surround.
Oh, yeah, this one looks a lot better than the last one. This Disruptor's going to be in some big trouble, as we see two of them being focused down already. Another two are going to be exposed. Zealot's going to be taking those down, so looks like only one Nova going to be going off. Wow, massive second Nova, actually.
Oh my god, the third Nova as well goes off, connects with the juicy center of the army, but is it going to be enough? Overcharge is being popped. Jieshi is down to only Zealots and Stalkers.
Nightmare taking some massive disruption Novas there, but looks like he might still almost have enough. We do have the retreat being covered by the Disruptors. He really wants to get the Immortal out here, and it looks like he will be able to do so, at least for now.
Meanwhile, the 5th base of Nightmare did just die to a Zealot run by as well. DTs did protect it. Shout out to the picture-in-picture. And the DTs are going for a massive counterattack. I think there's like 7 or so DTs going across the map. And there we go. They're blinking on top of that cannon. They're going to force a reaction. They force a recall.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to focus this down, but with no shield battery overcharge, we get the recall. We get these DTs being pushed back, and with that, Nightmare going to be hitting the right side now.
Yeah, exactly. Jieshi can't be in 2 places at once. He's going to be losing his fresh mining 5th base as well. Both players could be knocked down to 4 bases, but no, Jieshi has been able to rotate in time, and Nightmare has to be careful. He's down to 4 Disruptors with his main army. Doesn't want to get caught out as Jieshi setting up a surround, but Nightmare, he realizes it.
Yeah, great recall there, and he is going to be running into this third at the same time with, okay, the DTs. For a moment there, I thought it was a Disruptor run, but...
Yeah, honestly, 2 Disruptors going down to these DTs is really high value here out of Nightmare, and Jieshi's not turning around. He's committed to this push into Disruptors. He's looking! Oh no!
Oh, he's distracted by the DTs. This is the Protoss formula. You distract with DTs, you throw the Novas, and you beat the opponent that's way better than you. Good job, first. As we have extra Nexus being thrown down for Nightmare. So Nightmare going up to 5 Nexuses here is going to be at a very healthy economy, and it looks like he's just looking to snowball this massive lead that he got for himself off the back of those Nova shots. So beautifully played there, just making too many things happen all at once, and in an otherwise close game, finally finds his edge. GG.
GG, well played. Nightmare does tie it up here for his team, for ABYDOS, 1-1. Really close game overall, but a tighter defense overall from Nightmare, eventually taking into his own Disruptors and into his DTs. But I think we really have to commend something that really stood out to me, at least, is Nightmare's engagements, his surrounds. Multiple times that game, sometimes it didn't work out, sure, but multiple times he was setting up for those surrounds to try and get on top of those Disruptors and to really minimize the maneuverability otherwise of Jieshi's army.
Yeah, definitely. That was really well played. Kind of recognizing that he had the bigger army, but maybe not the more technical army, and just doing a really good job of just sniping out Disruptors, going for these big surrounds, going for little run-bys, threatening both sides at the same time. So just really well played overall by Nightmare. But with that, that'll be the end of the PvP. We do have a big GVP coming up. This is very interesting because Hero's form has been quite poor against Aaron lately.
Oh, it is a big Papi, and now he's A. Apparently, according to the WC admins, we have our A player coming out should be an S, but Hero is the best Protoss player in the world. Despite that, as you were saying, he has been struggling a little bit against Terran players, whether it's Cure, whether it's Bjorn as well, Maru. Hero hasn't been the most solid in this matchup, and in a best of 2, anything can happen.
Yeah, looks like both players going to be getting the nod for the A, which off here on Gressvan. Gressvan, bit of a tough map when it comes to TVP, just because it's very open, very defensible in some ways, and very attackable once you break down these different rocks, and it can be quite hard to rotate from the main to the third. I think it is a map that Protoss can have a lot of success on versus Terran, but I mean, I think both teams would be okay with a 1-1 here.
Oh, yeah. I think they'd be okay with that, but I think they both want a little bit more. And here we go in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan. We have representing DragonKy Z Gaming, Hero.
All is forgiven. And in the bottom right-hand corner for ABYDOS, it is Cure. Cure's head is bigger than before. Keeps getting bigger.
I like how
kept getting smaller.
Yeah. Hero kept getting smaller. The big yawn, by the way, big yawn at the start of this game. He's already tired, mate. He's like, wait, what's going on here? Just give me the S, give me the W. Meanwhile,
True.
Cure, he's sinking further and further out of frame.
His players have been playing a lot. I mean, going from GSL this week to the Woody event last night as well. I did notice, I mean, Bjorn recently had pretty much 20 hours where he just played like non-stop different tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a busy time right now for the Korean players.
It really is. Kung Fu Cup as well was a couple of days ago. We've got the KSL, we've got the ESL Open Cups. These players have been on the grind. Hero, Dark, Cure, Bjorn, they play in whatever they can. So, you know, it's the hashtag that gamer life, and it's always difficult to kind of prioritize in your mind, like what deserves your attention a little bit more. What do I be well rested for? What don't I? I think a team league format, you can rely a little bit more on your teammates, but we'll see who's feeling better on the day.
True. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay, so good. As Asher gets his Uber Eats, we'll find out what he is eating once he returns. But we do have some relatively standard openers here from our opponents. We had a Rax Expand coming out from Cure, so a pretty economic opener from our Korean Terran player. You love to see it. Nothing too crazy out of at least our Terran. Likewise, Hero going for the Gate Expand as well. Yeah, I appreciate that at least here in game 1, nothing too crazy. As a reminder, though, it's a best of 2. There are different ways that players can mix things up as the series does progress. Here, just slipping in behind that mineral line. No bunk or anything like that, though, to take advantage of. Just kind of chilling.
Okay.
Hello.
As we do see, Hero's going to be going for a very fast robo here. This is something that he does like to do in the matchup. It's a little bit unusual. There's not too many people who do go for this, but with this, he does have the opportunity to get some gateway units across the map very early and go for his kind of signature hyper aggression.
Yeah, like from a robo opener, there are a couple of possibilities, and I would usually kind of entertaining the idea of like faster Colossus or Colossus drops or Disruptor drops or anything like that. But because it's Hero, we should be seeing a Prism just so we can be hyper aggressive. Even behind this, oh my god, we go straight into Stargate as well.
Yeah, okay, interesting. So it looks like he's probably going to be using this as kind of an unusual way to go into Phoenix Colossus. This is often when you do this robos first, you can go into Storm a lot of the time, go for a bit of a Storm drop to clean up that first push. You can even just go into the more Gate Ape sort of style. But behind this, we do see Cure with the 2-on-1 sort of setup. This is the build that, of course, Oliveira popularized in his rise through the ranks of IEM Katowice, and this should match up really well with what Hero's doing.
Yeah, the 2-on-1 I feel like is ideal against these Stargate reliant compositions, or sorry, openers I should say. But Hero is actually working with a lot of gateways. He's got 2 more gates behind this. We have 3 adepts slipping into the main base. Hero is looking to do some damage. Not just that, but also scout the production, scout the opener of his opponent as well.
Yeah, 1 adept for 3 SUVs. Great trade there for Hero, and he will be trying to continue to snowball this damage with those Phoenix once they start coming out. And oh, okay, actually, it's going to be a Twilight Council going down behind this, so very odd build coming out from Hero. I'm kind of worried for him. Oftentimes, when you go into this many different techs early on, you kind of end up with not enough of anything, and you just can't hold the initial stim push. I'm a little concerned for him. I'm not sure what the plan is for holding the first push.
Yeah, I heard what you were saying.
Splash.
I heard what you were saying, and you stop yourself. You're like, oftentimes when players invest this much into tech, they just die.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say,
and I'm really
oftentimes
concerned as well.
invest this much into tech that they're in Diamond League, but I'm sure Hero knows what he's doing. I'm just a little concerned.
Yeah,
because,
I'm sure he.
well, the push of Cure, this is one that hits a little bit earlier. This is one that hits more around the 6 minute, or moves out more around the 6 minute mark, which is a little bit faster than usual just because he is skipping those tanks. And the build that Hero is going for is definitely one that can be in quite a lot of trouble against that.
Definitely, and I think now we're just now getting. Oh my god, we have a scan. The observer goes down. I don't think Hero has really confirmed how many Raxes there are and how early this is going to be hitting. So I think that may lead into why he's taking so much and why he's looking a little bit unprepared for this. The Phoenixes are looking for a way in. They're going to catch at least a Cyclone, and they should get eyes on the mass amount of bio in the main.
Yes, they're going to be forcing out a stim from those Marines, and the name of the game basically for Hero now is to just be threatening enough that Cure wants to stay home. He has to make himself big and scary, threaten all these SCVs, damage, but I mean, with that turret coming up, I think Cure can move out now.
Yeah, I think so as well. Before that happens, the Phoenixes are looking for a little bit more damage. They're keeping these Marines busy. We have a Prism making its way in towards the main base as well. So, as you were saying, Hero doing whatever he can to make sure Cure does not move out. But that is not stopping Cure. He's in the midst of pushing out towards the natural. But he is distracted once again by these Phoenixes.
Yeah, the Zealots in the Prism with that charge going to be bringing back home. And I mean, all of this is buying Hero time to get Storm up. If Cure had left and gone across the map already, he might be hitting well before Storm finishes. But at this rate, I think Storm will be done in time.
Yeah, exactly. Storm is more than halfway done. Cure spent too much time back at home trying to keep up with the Prism harass with the Phoenixes. Once again, Cure forced to turn around here to deal with these Phoenixes. Hero doing a great job at keeping his attention back at home and getting away with all that tech.
Yeah, and with that, looks like Storm going to be starting to finish up now. And that kind of fulfills that question. I mean, I had that question in my head. How on earth is Hero going to be able to hold anything? And I feel like if Cure had pushed out a minute ago, I don't think he would have been able to hold. But now that he has Storm, he's built up a good amount of charge lots as well. Massive Storm's going to be going down on the bio, and Cure has this push crushed.
Yeah, exactly. Hero just cleans this up. He takes down so many of the medevacs, the Marines, the Marauders as well. There was a big window where Cure could have taken a big fight, but not so much anymore as Hero's trying to catch these reinforcements.
Yeah, and I mean, Hero has a kind of army that can just kind of overwhelm. He's going to be warping his Zealots. He's got a Prism on the way as well. A couple extra High Templar being warped in. So if we can get a few more Storms here, we can even look to break the natural. And Cure only just finishing up his third now. He is in quite a bit of trouble. I would like to see potentially a bit of a pre-split, maybe some Sim City with a few buildings in the front.
Yeah, I'd like to see that as well, but I don't know if that's what we're really going to be getting here. We did have a bit of a storm going off already, just softening up some of the army. The charge shots, they're diving on in. We still have, I think, 2 or 3 more storms available.
Yeah, plenty more storms where that came from. We have the 3 Immortals as well. They're going to help chunk through those Marauders, and looks like there just might not be enough for Cure to hold here. We have an offensive warp in right in his face. Huge storm's going to be going down, and I think this is just way too much damage. Wow, massive storms on the SCVs. GG is called, and Hero takes down Cure.
GG, just sipping on that Starbucks towards the end there, making sure that he's awake and alert for that next game. But really soul play out of Hero, and I think the big question is, how do you get away with so much greed and so much tech? Just play like Hero, you know? He was doing such a great job being active, not just with his Phoenixes, but also with those Zealots as well, just being as annoying as possible, buying so much time, and then that counterattack was massive. Once he got that Storm, everything changed.
Did you see that? For a minute there, Terran was so broken that Kyo got the 1-0.
Yeah, I think I think production just assumed that he would win by default going into game 1, but it goes to show what the production knows, and maybe they should give Hero that S after all.
They know nothing. They're fools.
They need to take part in the prediction game, okay, so we can see when they can be exposed to the world, but we can see how good they are at those predictions. As we're getting ready for game number 2, but this is gonna be Kyo's map of choice.
Yeah, okay, so Kyo will be able to pick out maybe a little bit of an easier map. I mean, you could see as well just how difficult it was with how big the map was and how much he got delayed. I really do think that if he had been able to get there before Storm finished, he would have had a lot more luck, and that's one of the things that can be a bit difficult about TVP. I mean, if you don't know exactly what it is the Protoss is up to, if he was doing more of a Phoenix Colossus setup, it wouldn't have been that bad at all. But just because he was cutting those corners and using all this aggression to hide himself, I mean, that was really well done by Hero. And Kyo going to be going for Cistern. Okay.
Interesting choice here, just because I agree with kind of your analysis there of maybe Kyo struggling on a larger map, specifically with that 2-1-1 opener. I guess this is telling us that he's going to be going for something a little bit different instead. He's going to be varying up his builds here in this series, and he has something very different in mind on Ancient Cistern.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering now if we're going to be seeing some kind of proxy, but here we go in the top right-hand corner of this map. It's going to be the Protoss for DKZ. This is Hero.
And in the bottom left-hand corner for Team ABYDOS, it is Kyo. Oh,
Kyo.
Hello there.
Hi.
And, speaking of a proxy,
oh my God,
we do have a proxy Rax just touching tips here, just right up against the side of Hero. Oh my God. Personal space, Bob. Is he gonna float in?
Inside him.
Yeah, is it gonna float in? It totally could.
I don't think so. I think it's just the closest possible Reaper. You best believe I'm gonna be doing this to some Protosses.
You're an animal, Poppy. Leave the Protoss players alone. They get away from.
They deserve
it. You're an animal, Poppy. You're an animal. The Rax is looking to finish here. I'll be honest, in recent times, I haven't seen a proxy that close unless you're White Idra. And there we go. The first Reaper is on the way, as close as humanly possible. Oh.
It's inhuman. Disgusting.
It's inside him.
As are we to see the bunker going to be going down at the natural here to pair with this strategy. Hero doesn't look like he really wants to contest that too much, but yeah, I wonder if he's going to be expecting just how quickly these Reapers are going to be arriving here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's already inside him, as you were saying. We do have that for a Zealot on the way, but it's still in the way. The Reaper says hello. You can see even Hero shaking his head a little bit on that cam. Again, just now realizing what has been happening.
Yeah, this Reaper coming out even before the Zealot, so insanely fast Reaper here, as he is going to be looking to be really annoying with that. Take out these low health probes. I think he could maybe dive for the other one. He did get here so very early, but he is going to be respecting the gateway unit. Actually, he dips back in, almost gets caught out there. That could have been some real trouble, especially with the Stalker coming out, but looks like he's just going to be able to get back to the bunker.
Yeah, exactly. He gets 2 workers, gets back to the bunker as well. The Stalker even taking a little bit of shield, a little bit of hull damage there. Once again, Hero not really liking this situation on the cams as the Rax is lifted. He's going back there.
Can't really tell if Kyo likes it or not because I can only see half his face.
Yeah, exactly. He could be smiling. He could be crying right now. He could be frowning. We don't really know. But the bunker is finally going to be cleaned up here. And Hero opens up with a robo again.
Oh. He could have some, like, fake teeth in. Big fake teeth.
Could have braces.
He could have face paint just on his chin.
There you go, mate. There you go. Oh my god. I think I said this last time as well. I feel like the cam for Cure, that's not like that's intentional. Like, as in, by default, it isn't that zoomed into your face, you know? Like, he wants it like this. Is what I'm saying. You know what it is? He doesn't want people to know what he's saying. He's like speaking to himself, you know?
What if it's like a scratch and sniff camera?
He's sniffing the camera. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's sniffing us.
Well, not you specifically. Everyone at home.
What's he smelling?
I don't know. You guys probably smell a bit sweaty, a bit musty.
Excuse me. I mean, you did say that you wanted to spend all day in bed sleeping, so I mean, that does come with a certain smell. Yeah, it's true.
A beautiful smell.
The gamer fragrance, as we do have a bit of a mine jump going in towards the main base. The mine shot goes off 4 probes going down.
Yeah, just a little bit sloppy, unfortunately. So 4 probes going to be going down. We still have the medevac in the back there, so that will be keeping a few of those stalkers back at home. Meanwhile, we do have this transition coming up. It's going to be a little bit of a later stim, just because of the way that the build has gone down here. Oh,
yeah, it's going to be a little bit later here, as we have we had that robo into a double forge for Hero. Meanwhile, his stalkers, they're high on that caffeine. That Starbucks is really kicking in, mate.
God, I want another coffee. We do have that double upgrades going, and this is such a cool response. So looks like with this sentry as well, he's been able to get the constant scouting, see that the transition from Cure is a little bit delayed, and he does see a window to get away with this greed. So this is some very cerebral play coming out from Hero. Okay, yeah, this is great. This is so smart. I love it.
Oh my god, Hero, he's setting up for a ninja base in the top left-hand corner. He's crazy, pup. He's crazy.
No, this makes so much sense with how he's playing. He is going to be going... I was thinking that he's staying on 2 base for a really long time, and he is going to be... He's kind of laughing to himself. He is going to be showing kind of a very turtley, like, push into me, please push into me style. And so Cure is going to, think twice about it, not push into him. But meanwhile, he's got the extra base.
Yeah, there we go. The ninja base is thrown down here for Hero, as he's kind of showing one thing, but really has something else in store for us. You love to see him kind of chuckle at himself as well, knowing what he's trying to get away with. He's like, I'm clowning on him, I'm clowning. We'll see if he can get away with it, as the Cure is, again, still quite in the dark.
Man, I'm going to wreck him. He doesn't even know. I'm going to tell him after the game, look at the replay, lol.
Oh my god. Well, before that happens, of course, Kiri is going for another mine drop here on the right-hand side of the map, looking to get some of that valuable scouting information. Meanwhile, Hero can see that Kiri's posturing, looking to try and take a third base, potentially.
Yeah, he sees his setup outside the third base, and Hero himself, he's got his 1-1 up and running, getting that thermal lance for the Colossus as well. Throws down a third Nexus, so this is going to be... okay, I think Kyo sees this, and this is actually pretty bad for him that he sees this, because it's going to throw him for a loop here. It's going to look like Hero is playing very heavily on 2 bases, which he kind of is. But if Kyo turtles up as a result of this, he could be in a huge amount of trouble.
That's the thing, right? Like, if Cure had gone across the map and if he hadn't seen a third base, then he'd be, he'd be thinking a little bit about this. He'd be like, what's going on? Why are you on 2 bases for so long here? Are you going to be expanding, or are you going for a 2-base all-in? But of course, he confirms a later third. He's not going to be looking for a ninja base. That's going to be the last thing on his mind.
I mean, Cure looks and he goes, get a load of this. 7K turtles. Just Protoss things, am I right? Look how late his third is. Lol. What a noob.
We can say that he's saying this because we can't see his mouth. So really, we
Yeah.
are the narrators. Yeah.
That's why they can't see his mouth. It's actually ABYDOS gave him a camera that hides his mouth because he's a liability.
It hides his BM. He's still going, by the way. He's laughing.
Yeah. He's just going off. Like, he's going, all sorts of stuff. Can't repeat
Being
it.
censored as we speak. Oh, you thought Hero Marine was bad on his stream.
I love Hero Marine, dude.
Oh no! Oh, he diamond himself!
Wait, did he?
Am I crazy? That disruptor, it's off cooldown. It went off.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You just get used to these things when you play Protoss online.
It happens. You know,
Isn't that what they always do? I thought they watched a pro game and that's how they learned it.
Yeah, isn't it normal? They know themselves and they win.
But that happened to Nish today. Did you see his clip? The Protoss that Novid himself? It was amazing.
I didn't see the clips.
You can look at it next week.
Next week, I'll watch it next week, mate. Smooch, Barbie Smooch. As we have a bit of a Zealot rumble here, a lot of friendly fire. 3 SCVs going down for 1 Zealot. Very worth it here for Hero. Meanwhile, Kira still setting up defensively. He's still awaiting, anticipating a push to come his way. But it's not coming because Hero, he's just been happily mining on 3, now 4 bases.
Yeah, it feels like Kira sort of wrestling with himself to piece together the information that he's seeing and the information that he can surmise from what he's seeing. I mean, there should be more army, so it seems like he's quite hesitant, but he's just not seeing that army. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he's starting to piece this together as he is looking for an extra base.
Yeah, like he's, you know, he realizes something is wrong, something is amiss. He's missing something, but what exactly is it? It's eating at him in the back of his mind, and now he's going to be moving out. He is setting up for potentially a drop into the main base. Right now, Hero, his main army isn't really too robust. He's got some high-tech units, but not too much to protect it.
Yeah, Hero's main looking pretty heavily undefended, and Cure getting in here almost undetected. We do have Hero going to be moving over here into the natural, and it's going to be a big commitment from Cure into this natural with that shield battery overcharge. I'm not so sure about this. I think he probably could have held those disables for a better moment, but we do have a second army setting up over at the third here. Oh, he's worked it out, has he? He has.
Oh, I think he sent something in that direction. There we go. He has spotted the ninja base. He's heading that direction. At the same time, the main army is pushing in towards the right-hand side. Hero has to pick and choose. Does he recall back towards the top left to protect that base, or does he protect at home?
Yeah, Cure's army on the right, it's not really big enough to fight this base, but it is enough to keep the army pinned back so that Hero won't be able to defend himself. And Hero going to be losing this base, going to be losing all the probes here as well.
Oh, yeah, no recall to save those workers. Everything is going to go down. At the same time, Hero's moving out. What does he have? He has 2 Colossi. He has a Disruptor. I think he has Storms as well.
I don't like this. He's walking himself into a huge surround right now. Looks like Cure not even going to go for that. Just go for the base trade here, and I don't mind that either.
I mean, Cure's maxed out. Like, Hero isn't really ready for a base trade, but maybe a base trade is all he can really do right now as he's pushing in towards the natural base. At the same time, he's losing all of his own fringe bases, and Cure's committed.
Last 2 attack is denied by a matter of 10-15 seconds there, so pretty huge pick-off there. We do have a big attack coming on through, and a lot of probes, a lot of work is going down on both sides here.
Exactly. I said 2-2. Sorry, I meant to say 3-3 was denied with merely seconds to finish as well. So both players losing out on their upgrades here as we're committing to that base trade. But the question is, does Hero have any probes out on the map? Does he have any way to make any buildings right now? I don't think he does.
Yeah, it's hard to tell as we do see this Colossus of Hero getting extremely low. If that Marine is rallied in to hit it, it will kill it, and down it goes. So the Colossus is taken out. That is huge there for Cure. That's such an important unit.
And there it is. GG gets called. Hero doesn't have a worker out on the map, and his supply just is not comparable to Cure at all. And Cure shows his face for a little bit there. Is he happy? Is he frustrated? I don't know, mate.
He just kind of lifts up his mouth and he's like, heh, heh, heh. And then back down, back into the submarine.
Back into the ether. GG. Cure ties it up 1-1 here. A very close series so far between these two teams. And that is what we expected to see. Two heavy hitters duking it out. It's going to come down to that third series.
Mate, this is the grudge match here. Dark versus Creator. I'm trying to remember what it was for. I think it might have been Katowice, where Creator was looking... Yeah, it was Katowice, where Creator was making a really great run, and he was looking poised to go far, and then Dark took him out with a reverse sweep 3-2, kind of crushed those dreams, and Creator took that really hard. So I think this one's going to have a bit of spice to it, a bit of personal story between these two.
Oh yeah, the vendetta is hey!
Yeah.
I could have said it every time. A, really? For Dark? I think they have Maru as an A as well. I could be wrong. I just... Mentality 6! Oh my god, they're brutal! What is that?
The Creator? That's so funny.
Yeah! That's, that's so mean! His mental isn't
so
6! That's cruel.
It can be. It kind of can be.
It can be, but I wouldn't give it. I wouldn't say that that's his average. He's got highs and lows, but he isn't just low. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he is a player that plays at the level that he plays at. I don't think you could say his mental's actually 6, or he wouldn't be able to continue playing at the level that he plays.
Hey, WTO, they're clowning, Bobby.
It is funny though.
That has to be for the meme. That has to be an inside joke. That can't be serious. There's no way. Oh my god. Give Ragnarok a 6.
Ragnarok's just a 3 when he plays against Maru, and then
true.
8 the rest of the time.
Oh my god. I can't, mate. I can't. They're doing Creator dirty here. They're giving him a B, and like, honestly, Creator is one of the best Protoss in Korea. You know, he's in Hero's shadow, sure, but despite that, like, he's not a bad player at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know. It's a good meme. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, the mentality meme aside, I feel like they're doing his like defense dirty a little bit as well. Like we were comparing Creator to stats the other day when we were casting the GSL qualifiers, and when we think about all the Korean Protosses right now, I think Creator is maybe the more defensive or standard player amongst them. You know, like.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I got some beef with the person coming up with these numbers. Just saying.
Man, I think it's fine. These whiny Protosses, they should all have 6 mentality.
You're an animal. If they have 6 mental, give him more offense at least. You know, make him an ape, make him a proper ape. You know, just make him go crazy. Just what kind of narrative are we trying to sell right now?
Well, we're about to find out as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude. It's going to be at the Zerg for DKZ, Dark.
And in the top right-hand corner for ABYDOS, we have Creator. Oh.
Okay, going to be a gas pool coming out from... Wait, no, it's not a gas pool. They just started the game late. Never mind.
It's so good. I was laughing because my brain immediately Dark in the background. He's got something hanging from the wall, and I thought it was a whip, mate. I thought it was. Oh my god, what are we looking at right now? What's happening? Everybody delay in the dark. Oh, whenever he needs to.
Got this joke is just completely lost on me now. Please talk about something else. My brain was just like, not only am I not going to find the information that you're looking for, I'm going to actively empty every thought from your brain.
It's all gone.
I was trying to think of the 50 Shades of Grey thing.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came to my mind is a particular set of skills, which I guess kind of fits as well.
Oh my god. I will find you. I will.
Oh yeah, I know how that ends.
We're just combining everything, Bobby. It's all the same thing, you know. John Wick had his daughter kidnapped, and she's in Adrian Gray's basement. And Dark is involved somehow. There you go.
I have unconventional desires and a particular set of skills.
Oh god, that's a movie. Wait, that's a movie.
Yeah, that's the spin-off we need.
That's a movie. All about family.
I hope not. Oh my god.
Oh my god. We'll leave it at that. As we get into this, so far nothing too crazy, at least from the side of Dark, but Creator, that is not a Stargate opening.
It isn't. But he made it look like one. He didn't start up his walk gate straight away, so Protoss players getting very clever these days with hiding these builds, and there's a lot of variations to these as well. It looks like this one in particular, it's going to be 4-gate. Oh, no, 5. Okay, this is something that we've been seeing quite a bit lately, personally, when we've been casting, is these very heavily committed 2-base glaive builds, like 5-6 gates sort of thing. I think the last one we saw was actually Max Pax playing it against, I believe it was Dark, and he was very unsuccessful and then transitioned out and won, and it was gross.
Mate,
honestly,
the transition from Max Pax was actually almost seamless. It was like he didn't want to do
it was
that.
insane.
It was
like,
crazy.
I get 6 gates because I want 6 adepts, like, obviously.
Yeah, there you go, mate. There you go. As we have another weapon across the map. This is what I was about to say about Creator, especially in this matchup, why I think he deserves a little bit more aggression or offensive stats, as he is going across the map here with his adepts. He can be quite unpredictable.
This is really neat as well. He shows 4 adepts and then he warps in 4 more under the Overlord. Yeah. So this looks a lot like 4-gate glaives. And Dark might misread the commitment here. We do see that Dark is making a few more drones here, so that might be the case. And he is going to be going for this Ling Bane defense that he has been going for. It's the same thing that he did against Max Pax as well. And we were kind of wondering when we saw it whether that was necessarily a good defense. I remember now, it was King of the Hill.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we were able to see that I believe Dark did end up taking down Max Pax, if I recall, in the end, despite the comeback that did happen. I think that's how he was dethroned, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But here we go. The Adepts have arrived. The Bailings are looking for their connections here. There are enough Adepts to go toe-to-toe with the Queens as well.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe some of these being left behind, but no, the slow Bane's just a little bit too slow to catch up. Creator with a fantastic concave, going to be taking out all the Banes. It was as if the Shades just blasted through them, and he is trading really well with these Lings now. He's going to be able to stop these Queens from coming up the ramp as well. He lost quite a few of these Adepts, but now he's getting on top of the drones, and this looks very successful. I was really apprehensive about this Ling Bane defense from Dark. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to me, and we can see the problems that it runs into.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it also doesn't help that he was droning in the midst of this defense as well, and assuming that it was a 4-gate, not a 6-gate glaive adept, not an all-in from Creator. And now this has gotten out of hand. 24 workers have already gone down, and that is more than enough damage, and he's still going to get more.
Yeah, playing switcheroos with these as well. And Dark, he doesn't want to see any more drones go down. He saves them in the only way that he can, and that's by going next.
There you go. GG. Creator with a bit of a cheeky smile there. 6 mental. You're mental, mate. As he does take that first game here in a pretty convincing fashion. The other important thing is that he didn't really show too much. This wasn't like a mid-game or a late-game scenario here. It was all about that build. It was all about deception. It was all about getting in the head of Dark.
Yeah, that was really cleverly done there. I really like the way that he held it. But now he has a lot of pressure on him because he can win this one and give ABYDOS the win over DKZ. Or if Dark wins this, his team will be going to an ace match. And an ace match here is going to be pretty stressful. I mean, whether it's Dark versus Cure, Hero versus Cure, Hero versus Creator, any of these combinations, absolutely not a surefire thing. So definitely going to be trying to get the win for his team here.
Yeah, that's the thing about this matchup here is that there is no clear ace player. I think both teams, if we do get to the ace match, they're gonna try and like counter each other and anticipate and assume who they're gonna play, and then try to bring out another player instead, to try and snipe them, if you will. So things can get really complicated, really chaotic. As Dark's map of choice is going to be Ancient Cistern.
Yeah, Ancient Cistern going to be the map, and will the mentality of Creator catch up with him? Can he handle the pressure? Or will he crumble?
Will he crumble? Because clearly his mental is not high enough to withstand the might that is Dark. Clearly, he's going to need some more support here. He's going to need the chat to help him out. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner is his opponent, representing DKZ Gaming. It is Dark.
And in the top right-hand corner for ABYDOS, it is a Creator.
There we have it. Already Creator doing the bare minimum for his team. Gonna at least be forcing the ace match, but can he take it all in the end? Doc, I'm sure, maybe a little bit frustrated by what transpired. Unfortunately, wasn't able to see what his opponent was doing. And yeah, that Ling Bane defense, it does feel a little bit too greedy here. Dark has been playing around with it recently, but maybe not the most reliable thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look great against the more committed styles. It looks really solid against the less committed styles, but yeah, I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that one, but here we go. We do see these two players going down, and oh, I just got the clearest memory of Dark's desk smash. It's like the greatest desk smash of all time. The one where he just like brings that fist up into the air and just all the power and gravity just comes down all at once.
Oh, yeah.
These two players kind of, they could be dueling for the title of best desk smash.
You're an animal.
Man, they're both powerful. God. There's a passionate player.
Yeah,
These are players that really care about the game. We love to see it.
They do. They do. They care. They're not dead inside. They're not like these Terran players that, have all their hope and happiness sucked away from them. No, they still have what it takes to smile in the morning. Oh, it's beautiful.
I don't think that's true. I see some proper despair on Creator before.
The highs and the lows,
levels, man.
The highs and the lows. He was smiling earlier. We saw he was smiling, Bobby. Don't take his smile away.
He was smiling because he remembered he played Protoss. Like, wow, that's awesome. I'm blessed.
Once again, 2 games in a row. Speaking of Protoss, no Stargate. He's going for a much more aggressive opener.
Yeah, I was going to mention this. I think it definitely would be a good idea for him to go for a Glaives build with a different gate count here and maybe throw Dark for a little bit of a loop, try to get an incorrect reaction again. But we are seeing Dark going to be going for the Link Scout, very well timed, gets that full scout, sees the Twilight Council, so he's going to have a little bit of earlier information this time around. And I think we're going to be seeing him being a little bit more cautious with the way that he rescouts too.
100%. And this is when, how many layers deep are we going to be going? Because I agree with you. It would be smart to go for a less committed Glaive Adept opener. But I'm sure Dark is expecting that. So then this is when Creator doubles down. And he goes, maybe he goes 4-gate Glaives, but DTs or something as well,
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think you just do the 6-gate again. Oh, but this time he is going for Roaches. So yeah, I feel like Creator did show a bit of a hole in that defense there. And behind this, we're going to be seeing, okay, so it's 4 gates so far. This all looks the same as last time, but now we're going to see whether it's the diversions going for the 6 gates, throwing down 2 more, or going for a third base.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on the gas count as well. If he takes more gases, he could go for a faster Bay. He could go for a faster Dark Shrine. Or if he stays on 2 gases, he can go for that third base. So our eyes will be peeled as 1 more gas is being taken, actually, at the natural.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a 4-gate this time. And this is a really cool mix-up because he did show the 4-gate last time.
True. That was what that build was hidden as the first 4 Adepts are moving out across the map. The Prism is not going to be too far behind this as well. Dark taking this very seriously. We already have Roaches on the way. We even have Spores on the way just in case it is going to be a DT variant.
Yeah, so Dark definitely going to be defending a lot more safely this time. Um, I do like this again for Creator though. I feel like that Ling Bane defense possibly is trying to cut corners and allow him to play into the kind of game that he does originally want to play into. So this is more forcing him into the more traditional hold here. And behind this, we do see it is just going to be continued 4-gate production from Creator. He throws down that third behind it too. So not going to be too heavily delayed there. It's more the lack of tech that causes this build to be a bit more all in.
Yeah, but Dark is being so aggressive despite the fact that the Adepts are still around on the map threatening his bases. He goes for a massive Ling counterattack. His Queens and Ravagers are back at home to defend, but the Lings, they're elsewhere.
Yeah, so this third going to be cancelled immediately with all those links going across the map. Looks like Creator seeing that is going to be committing to trying to take out some of these drones, trying to push away the Ravagers as well. So going to be really important for Dark. He needs to run these drones away.
He does need to run them away. Already 4 drones going to be going down here. This is already a lot of economic damage, important damage as well, because Creator, he was forced to cancel his third base as we do have a recall, but drones are still falling.
Yeah, this one Adept putting in some serious work over here at the Natural. 8 drones going down in total. Pretty solid damage coming out from Creator. He's going to be taking a very slight worker lead, if only for a moment there. And behind this, going for sentries, going for immortals. Going to be desperately trying to hold on against this counterattack of Dark. But there's no shield batteries. Pretty nice force fields. Doesn't quite pay off, but threatening enough to send Dark away.
And Dark's just poking and prodding, looking at the army at that third base location. He forces out some of those force fields. He checks the wall here at the Natural as well, just keeping Creator on his toes as Dark tries to recover from his economic losses, tries to, build back up his drone count.
Yeah, in typical Dark fashion, that's going to involve constant pressure and poking with his army as well, just to keep the opponent in the dark, keep them pushed back at home. And behind this, going to be going into road speed, just continuing to drone, as you were saying, and going for a nice diligent scout on top of that.
Yeah, the Overseer is able to confirm that we do have another upgrade on the way. Should be Blink here alongside +1 for Creator. He gets an eye on the gas can as well. So again, he should be feeling pretty confident, especially because he didn't see a Templar Archives that is not going to be charged on Archon. So he knows that Ling, Roach, Ravager is going to be the composition of choice as Creator is moving out to deny that fourth.
Okay, yeah, big move out coming out from Creator. We do have a lot of Ravagers here, so the force field's not going to be as effective as they might normally be. Especially once these Lings do rock up. This doesn't feel like the greatest attack here from Creator, and he is looking to be punished here.
Oh, a massive surround from Dark. It looks like the Immortals are going to be saved, but we can't say the same for everything else on the ground. The Sentries, the Stalkers, a very ill-advised push from Creator.
Oh, yeah. Is the mental going to be able to hold up? Can he keep it together?
He's falling apart, Poppy. It's too much. Meanwhile, Dark, I think he's getting ready. He's getting ready to bring down that whip. He's, oh my god.
Whip him, bud.
Oh my god. They're animals. As Creator's transitioning, we do have a Bay and a second Robo on the way here for, I imagine, double Destructor production that can work quite well against the Roach Ravager of Dark. But Dark isn't investing into range, he's investing into melee. So he's starting off with Roach Rav, but he's going to be relying a lot on that Ling Bane.
Yeah, Dark just doing Dark things, just picking out different techs that he likes. Because he just has a bit of fun with this game. I feel like he really does. And behind this, going to be going up into Hive. So, interesting. That means he is going to be able to have Vipers. Once the Disruptors or Colossus, whichever it is, comes out, it looks like it is going to be Colossus, actually. Vipers are huge against this. I mean, just having a couple Vipers available completely changes the complexion of the fights now.
Yeah, exactly. Really smart here. Dark recognizing that he was ahead because he crushed that initial army. He knows that he can skip out on some of his army units and he can focus a lot more on tech instead. And with that, he will have those Vipers, Adrenal Glands, 1-1, 5th base. Like Dark, he just has so much map control and so much freedom as well after shutting down that first army.
Yeah, and behind this going up into that Bane speed as well. So he is building into this kind of army where he can just kind of roll a massive amount of Banes over everything, yoink up all the Colossus, and just crushify it.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be Dark's world, and it's going to be on Creator to try to find a way through it here. Even though Viper has changed the dynamic of the fight, very important hallucinated scout. He confirms the timing of the hive. He now should be aware of the threat of Vipers, and he should be looking to try and prepare for that. Meanwhile, Dark, it's his unit of choice. He loves it, even if it sometimes kills him. Ultras.
Dark's world. Dark's world.
I don't think that's how it goes.
Dark's world.
What's up? What jingle is that from? I know it's from like a kids show. What is it?
Yeah, Sesame Street. Elmo's World.
Sesame Street. Hey. Elmo's World. Yo, let's go, yo, mate. Elmo's World, mate. That was it. That was
Hey, it is Elmo's World. We're just living in it.
We are as ooh, Nexus is going to be going down. Creator very out of position here on the right hand side. He loses his 4th base. He loses 11 workers, and the Lings, they just don't stop coming, looking for another opening wherever they can.
Yeah, they are going to be looking around. We do have Adrenal being started up, as well as that kindness for the Ultras. I'm not sure if we actually had Vipers in the end for Dark.
Nope, yeah. I mean, Vipers would make too much sense, Asher. It would.
Okay, I understand.
Vipers would shut this down completely. Vipers would be a sure win, but Dark, you know, he likes to have fun, as you were saying. He likes to live on the edge, and how better to edge with them than with Ultras?
I hear what you're saying, and what you mean is that he's being paid by the Cabal, and I agree.
Oh my god, as massive Novas go off, so many of the Ling Bane is going to be shaved off by these 4 Colossi as Creator is pushing on forward. His army is just that much more efficient, and even when the Ultras come out, like, it's still going to be a bit of a question mark if Dark can take a good fight. It's all going to come down to that one big engagement.
Mate, the mouth is opening. That's how you can tell he's winning. It's like a scale.
Ready to receive.
Oh, God.
And here we go, the surround is coming in. But we only have 1 Ultra here with the army. The Novas are going off.
The Ultra's going to be getting on at top of the Colossus. 2 of them going to be going down in an instant. Nice micro to pull that last one back. Going to be very important to keep this Immortal alive, especially against the Ultra. That's some crucial DPS. The the Immortal does go down. It feels like Creator just getting caught a little bit off guard by this tech switch here.
Yeah, exactly, and it looks like Dark is slowly holding on. Oh my god, the bios are going to be connecting. We're trying to transfuse as best we can on these Ultras. The 1 Colossus did survive, and the Ultras are being focused down one after the other. They have no support.
Yeah, they are going to be going down to these Stalkers. That was some pretty adventurous micro coming out from Creator, but now the Ling's going to be getting on top of the Stalkers. Looks like everything going to be melting, and Dark, he has done it in a fashion that only he can, and it's a harness. I don't know if I feel better about that. I think we're going to see Dark vs Cure.
I agree with Cure. I do think that I think that maybe the pressure, you know, the mental papi. I don't know if it's the wisest choice to bring out Creator, especially after a loss. I know that losses can affect him in a negative way, so I think Cure would make the most sense. I think he's, you know, we've spoken about it before. He's dead inside. You know, he's all about that trash talk. His opponent, you think? Yeah, I think I agree. Like, if we're under the assumption that it's going to be a Terran player, Dark would make sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a map for ZVT that I would say you're not going to feel too bad about it as either the Zerg or the Terran. Probably going to be fine. It might end up being a bit more of a late game, but I'm down with that. I kind of want to see a bit of a late game ZVT banger.
Oh yeah, I would love it to see a late game TVZ. That is what I yearn for. But it's not about what we want. It's what the teams want. It's what the players want. Oh boy, it's gonna be wild. I think we're both kind of writing off Nightmare and Jieshi. I think that they should be taking a bit of a back seat here in the end. But yeah, you know, maybe in the chat, who we thinking is gonna come out here? Dark, Hero, Cure, Creator. Let's get some predictions, Bob. Get some predictions.
Yeah, and I mean, who's oh my god, chat needs to calm down a little bit. Who's Dark going to be riding into battle? That's the question I've got.
Who's he going to be riding? Oh,
into battle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What'd you think I meant?
Something unconventional.
Well, if it's unconventional, he's gonna be riding he's gonna be riding hero into battle. Is that?
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh my god! I don't think hero can support dark. I don't think that's. I think he'll crush
Oh,
him.
let's go. Let's go.
There it is, the dark versus cure ace match that we all wanted here. I think this makes the most sense. I think it's risky to whip out hero against cure. I think that's not as surefire of a thing, right?
I mean, Dark's arms might be big, but Cure's head, it is so big.
Oh,
Dark is going to try to crush that head, and his arms are not going to be able to wrap all the way around. It's going to be a stalemate.
he's
Go to the lake game.
he's gonna get the harness out. He's gonna ride his head, mate.
The harness isn't big enough. Gonna need a bigger harness.
Oh my god. Gonna need a bigger harness. Well, I guess we're gonna bear witness. We're gonna see if who comes out on top here between the two players. It's gonna be a ZVT to end it all to find out which one of these teams comes out on top. Best of one, everyone. Best of one.
Oh, okay.
I was like, did you just arrive? What happened right now? What
I did. I actually did.
Oh my god.
The anticipation. It's too much.
You're an animal. Stay away from me. Stay away. You don't have my consent to clown me on the ladder. Oh, only in customs.
I'm gonna get that harness out. I'm gonna ride those cyclones and hellions into battle.
Oh my god. Oh. Asher, please. Put that away. Oh god. We can deal with that later. As we are getting ready here for our ace match. Best of one, Babylon. Now, do I believe in Cure's ability to clown in the ace? I don't think so. I don't know if he's willing to risk it all here in a best of one. Maru, yeah. Bjorn, yeah. Cure, I don't know. Does he have it in him? You know, is he that crazy?
Yeah, he's a killer, man. He has these, especially in GSL, he has these series where he just cheeses both games. And it's just like a 10-minute series. But here we go. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, it is the Blue Zerg Dark for DKZ.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner for ABYDOS, the Korean Terran, it is Cure. Oh boy, well here we he is holding his head. Yeah, he's holding his head high. It's like when you watch like a YouTube video where like someone has like a hunchback and you straighten up. You're like you want to make sure your posture's in check.
So he's been watching Showtime YouTube videos.
Yeah.
The latest Showtime guide just came out.
Oh, we can get a view of that mouth now.
Also, Dark rustled his hair. I think he was a bit frustrated with some of those games that he had.
Oh my god, it is a little bit more unkept. What happened in the interim? What transpired?
Has the harness moved?
I think it has actually. I think it's more. Yeah, it has 100%.
Oh, actually, unironically, maybe it's one of those like, you got a door, you got a gym. Like it might be one of those things.
What? You think he uses it to ride the door?
Yeah, or like there's these things that like you jam them in the door, you close them in the top of the door, and then you can do like pull-ups and push-ups on them and stuff.
Yeah. You can do the thing where you like, you use like the tension of the door to like, you know, work your muscles. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I get you.
Work someone else's muscle. As we did see. Pretty standard builds coming out from both players, yeah.
Yeah. We should interview Dark one of these days and grill him about that harness. As we do have, as you're saying, some relatively standard openers. The first Reaper is going across the map here to dance with those lings. Nothing too crazy. Oh! Can he get one?
And if you miss a shot here, you get disowned from the League of Terrans.
Oh. Not like this. As we actually see a relatively faster third CC here. So Kira going for a 3CC opener in the ace match.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, late game banger. Let's go.
The dream, Poppy. The dream. Looking to be 3CC Starport or Banshee even from Cure. Meanwhile, nothing too crazy out of Dark either. That's important to bear in mind because we have seen Dark mess around with earlier pool timings in this matchup, but hatch gas pool, standard third base timing, everything is normal from both of our players.
Yeah, Cure's going to be delaying this creep tumor from being spread here just a little bit. Not anything too bad here. As we do see, yeah, there's going to be a very standard build coming out from him behind this. Looks like he is gearing up for that swap for the Banshee. So 3CC Banshee. You love to see it.
Oh, there you go, mate. There you go. That standard, at least opener that you wanted is what we're going to be getting. We'll see if we can get into the mid-game uninterrupted here as the Banshees are on the way. The Hellions are looking to dip in, pick up whatever they can, whether it's a creep tumor, whether it's a drone as well. But the Queens from Dark, known for always being in position.
Yeah, he is in position there, as we do have these Hellions. It's kind of rotating around, going to be looking for that angle in, but I mean, this is a map where there's not, it's, how do I describe it? The rotation offensively for the Hellions is shorter than the defensive rotation for the Queen, so it's pretty hard to get on top of these creep tumors.
100%, mate. Like, Dark has done a great job at keeping up, and as you're saying, the map itself does work a little bit against Kira when it comes to trying to pick up those tumors. We see the Overlord dipping on in. We have confirmation on the third CC timing being landed here on location, and we also get confirmation that Cloak is being researched. That Dark does have to invest a little bit in that detection.
Yep, so good scout timing for Dark. Going to see everything that he needs to see, and it's going to be very standard play coming out from both players behind this.
Yeah, I mean, I freaked out because you just reminded me something that Kura let me know the other day. Do you know Jieshi? Yen X.
Oh yeah.
He's a Brazilian Terran player. We've been casting him for years. He's a young one. I didn't know, but his IRL name is Oliveira.
Oh, amazing.
He's in position, Papi. He's in position. Let's go. I mean, it makes sense because he's Brazilian, but yeah. I didn't know until recently.
And it's like this time guy changed his name to Oliveira. He's like, what the hell? What is this?
I didn't know he watched my games.
True, big fan.
Caralho.
Poha. As I would have his bench is going to be dipping on in here. Not going to be finding any damage. As you were saying, Dark, very sharp when it comes to that Queen movement. Going to be all over this. He does have that lair finished up as well. So this fourth base isn't going to be in any danger here. He'll be able to morph an Overseer and bring the Queens over for that. And behind this, going for +1 melee and Roach speed. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, the Roach Warren really throwing us for a bit of a loop here, maybe just for safety, but because we have Roach speed on the way, that's going to be a bit of a question mark. 9 Roaches are in production. This is going to hit before 1-1. This is going to be looking to try and catch Kira a bit off guard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a defensive Lingbane Rav setup from Dark. It's something that we've been seeing a lot of players play around with, including Cyril actually has been playing it quite a lot, and I don't understand why. I don't really believe in it. I feel like this is propaganda to be like, wow, look at all the Terrans, they're winning everything because we're playing bad styles, but I don't know. I don't understand why it's become so popular. I like it on like Neo Humanity, but I feel like this map in particular is great for Lingbane Hydra.
Yeah, like I as a Zerg player, I understand the logic behind the Roaches and how safe they can be and how they can slow down pushes, they can snipe tanks, they're a little bit larva efficient as well, which maybe if you trade a little bit too inefficiently. You know, that can go your
Mm.
way if you rely too much on Ling Bane. But yeah, it's a bit of an odd one here because we're still going for that Baneling nest. Like, as you were saying, we're not investing too heavily into this. We're just gonna kind of be using these roaches as a supportive unit for the time being, like a stepping stone.
Yeah, and I mean, this more defensive style is something that we saw it a lot on maps like Curious Minds, like very small maps that were very open
Yeah.
around the third. I could imagine seeing something like this maybe on Dragon scales, but yeah, I don't fully understand the reason for going it on this map, especially after scouting 3CC Banshee, a build that I feel like matches up quite well against this. I'm kind of going to be waiting interestedly to see what he does with the Hive when that finishes up. That might tell a tale of... That kind of might make this all make sense, I want to say.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what he takes into here. Is he going to go into those Ultras again? Is he going to be prioritizing Vipers? Is he going to get into Lurker play instead? For the time being, we do see a double drop on the right-hand side. Going to be finding a little bit of damage. Oh, nice target firing on that Ravager. Oh my god.
Yeah, some neat work coming out from Kyo. Just going to be using that multitask to try and take on, stay on top of Dark, abuse a little bit the lack of anti-air as well.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have a double drop towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map as well, but we have a couple of Lings in position, so this shouldn't get too out of hand as, yeah, Dark does spot this well ahead of time, does dive on top of those Marines immediately as well. Reinforcements are coming out, and I believe the Hive is done, but we haven't quite decided what we want to do with it yet.
Yeah, not quite yet, as these Marines are going to be taking some pretty great trades, just kind of nestled in on this pool here. The Banelings finally come over to deal with this, but as that happens, Kyo going to be coming in with this tank push, and this is why it's rather scary for Dark here, is Kyo, he has been able to build up that tank count bit by bit on a really nice economy with the 3CC opener, but this is a fantastic fight from Dark, coming in on every angle right now.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in from behind is going to be able to get on top of these tanks. There's not enough Bio, not enough Marines and Marauders to protect them, and every single tank is going to go down.
Yeah, fantastic. A clean up from Darky. You can see what's so useful about the Roaches and Ravagers here as well. Just the way that they can clear up the tanks and just tank for that Ling Bane Force to get on top of everything behind this. He is going to be going into Ultras. Okay, definitely makes sense versus a tank style. So I can kind of see how it's all piecing together. It's just odd. It's just odd.
Yeah, it's not what we usually see here. But again, Dark, he's kind of known for his Roach Ravager styles. Maybe he's just comfortable, you know, maybe this is just his happy place where he wants to be, how he wants to play this out. As once again, we have another push here from Kira. Only a single tank behind this. Well, the plows are going to be connecting with those medevacs even.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kyo's trading pretty well. He's clearing out a lot of this creep here, finding himself a nice area to set himself up. And Dark going to be looking to go for a big surround, going for this fight again, cutting off some of these reinforcements. There's just a bit too much there. And Dark is really finding he's finding it very difficult to get an angle to attack in on just because of all the creeps that got cleared up here.
Exactly, the hatchery does go down. A couple of drones are going down as well. Dark is going to be forced into an engagement. I don't think he's quite ready for it yet either. He doesn't have that many Banelings. He doesn't really have as many Lings either. The Vipers are coming in though, and I believe they do have enough energy to get involved. Yeah,
here we go. We are going to be having Dark pulling the trigger. This terrain in the center here, very awkward to get all the units around, but the Banelings are going to be getting on top of the Marine Marauder. It's going to be an okay trade here, but no, it looks like Kyo going to be breaking through. Dark just not taking the trades that he needs here.
Yeah, the Banelings connected with the tanks and the Marauders, not with the Marines, so not the most ideal engagement towards the end, and now he's being forced all the way back. The boys have to be pulled away from this army. Another tank is going to show up. The Banelings going to finish up just in time, but the hatchery will fall.
Yeah, Hatch goes down here, and Kyo can look to make an aggressive rotation in through the natural here, clearing creep all the way as he goes. So looks like he is going to go around the outside, around the back here, but he is going to be completely resetting this creep spread, and that just makes it so difficult to make things happen on this map. The thing that Dark does have going for him, though, is these Ultras are about to pop.
Yeah, the Ultra's going to be enough, though. That is the question, because we have a couple of Marauders coming out. I saw some Liberators in production as well. I don't really know if they're being used to harass or if they're going to be meeting up with the main army either. 3-3 still not on the way for Dark either. He's still stuck on 2-2.
Yeah, and once again, no creep up on this high ground here, and that gives Kira a fantastic spot to set up on. Dark really struggling to make this fight happen. He's going to be giving up the base, but these drones are exposed, and he is really struggling to find a way to take a good fight here.
Yeah, exactly. There's just too much fire, and I don't think this is the really engagement that
Oh.
we want. The Baileys, they go down immediately. This counterattack is finding a lot of damage, but the main army is hurting.
Yeah, a bit of a disaster there for Dark. Loses all his Bailings. They just funnel through into the concave. A lot of SCVs going to be going down, so Dark is putting the pressure on Kira. He is forcing him to make this very aggressive move. He might be able to pull the trigger, jump on top of him with those Ultras, but all the Bailings have gone down. This would have been really nice to have the Bailings as the Bio army is standing on creep here, but Dark is down to just 2 bases now.
He's down to 2 bases. The Wiles will zone away the army. Dark is looking for another angle of attack. The Link counterattack did do a lot of damage. 22 SCVs going down. The natural base was compromised, but it's being cleaned up. Dark is stable. Oh, sorry, Kira for the most part is stabilizing across the map, and he's actually turning around with his army.
Yeah, it is slowly being cleaned up. We still have a few more of these lings here. Fortunately for Cure, that base was not spotted because it is not a planetary.
Yeah, it doesn't get seen here. We could have seen the entire economy of of Cure crippled, and I'm sure Dark assumes that that's what just happened, as he doesn't get eyes on the 4th base.
Ooh, Infestors behind this. I actually really like this. It's a very neat comeback mechanic, and in such a low eco game like this, a few fungals can just completely spell the end of the game here.
Yeah, it also makes up for the lack of creep threat as well. You know, it does mean that engaging off of creep is a little bit more possible if you do land those fungals. Meanwhile, with the lack of vision, Kira sneaks out with a double drop, and oh, this is the most crucial mining base for Dark. He has to hold on to it. Up.
Yeah, the base goes down, but we're going to be losing a reasonable amount of bio. Pretty fortunate there that the Infestors didn't have enough energy to go for the fungal, or we would have been losing a lot of units. But with that, Kira actually going to be scouting out the Infestors, and I think that should lead him to play a little bit more safely and carefully.
I mean, that's something to bear in mind as well, is that Dark doesn't have pathogen glands. That's why he didn't have enough energy for a fungal there. So, you know, because of that, these Infestors, they need time. They need time to gather that energy. They're not the most useful at the moment. Have to, you know, buy their time here for another opportune moment instead.
Yeah, that's right. And Dark now, he is struggling when it comes to the economy. He is really having trouble finding some good mining bases. I mean, he's got the drone count. He just doesn't really have any good mining bases. But massive fungal is going to be going down on the bio. Not enough to break through the healing of the medevacs, though. So these tanks are going to continue to crawl forward. And Dark, he's in a very awkward position here. He desperately needs some energy on these Infestors.
Yeah, we've got the fungals, but do we have the follow-up as well? That's the question. We have 2 ultras, but only 2 ultras. The Viper gets sniped.
Man, and Cure, he smells blood. He is charging on 40. He does not care about these Infestors. He goes, fungal me if you dare. I'm going to be sniping down all of your Ultras. All 3 Ultras go down in the blink of an eye. The fungals are good, but they are not good enough. There is just nothing on the floor for Duck to clear up, and Cure takes the win.
Oh, GG, well played. Cure just over time, hammering down the bases of Dark, trading a little bit too efficiently, and Dark and maybe hating himself for not scouting that 4th base, for potentially not crippling the economy of Cure even more by not seeing that in time, and having not the best engagement there. There was that one big moment on the right-hand side where we saw Dark push into a concave and lose all his Bailings. Like, that was a brutal moment.
Yeah, it was definitely very difficult. Looks like he just didn't quite have the vision that he needed of that army. Couldn't piece it together. But with that, ABYDOS going to be taking the 4-3 win over CranKy Gaming, and what a crucial fixture for them to get that win.
Definitely. GG, well played. A very solid result here by ABYDOS, because CranKy Gaming, they are the champions, or at least DPG are the 4-time champions of WTL. CranKy Gaming struggling a little bit tonight, as they were not able to field Oliveira. Oliveira was conspicuously missing from the lineup. So without their potentially ace player, without the world champion, they struggled a little bit more. Massive shout out to ABYDOS. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but as Dark lost that game, very clear. Shiva! Very clear words out of him on the cam, mate. It was beautiful.
He probably wasn't even going to wait for the camera to turn off to grab that harness.
Oh no!